Hello, 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 hello. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining me again on Talk Shop, where we tell the truth and let the chips fall what the bloody hell may, man. Because we have this guiding principle all the time: the truth crushed to earth shall rise again, man. And this thing is all about building the nation. All the talk shops are made back and forth, no matter what topic I'm treating, folks. Bear with me, it is all about building our nation. That's why I always wear this t-shirt. Oh, and by the way, Grace Menu, I've been following your responses, and I think you're a very, very progressive person, wherever you are. Grace Menu, you've earned yourself a t-shirt, man. Just tell me the size and the color you want, and I'll show you how you can get one. And folks, munya jealoso, plenty more coming. Anyway, that's why I wear this t-shirt, and it says on the front, what time is it? And on the back, it says nation time. Yeah, it says nation time, folks. And I keep assuring all of you over and over again, I said this country will rise again. Let's all understand that there are some people whose personal interest comes against Ghana rising again as a unified country. Now, all my personal interest is against this vision of Ghana, a united Ghana rising again. No? Trust me, like how the truth crashed to earth, no? What we do them, no? They all be crashed to the earth, and they will never rise again, by the way. Today's show, folks, today's show is simply about, so far, we have had a reawakening that Ghana is about to rise again. We have had a reawakening. And I'm saying this, thank God for the change. That change symbolizes Ghana for Yadwin. We are now on the path to reset our minds and revitalize Ghana so that Ghana rises again. And no one should attempt to get in the way of this hurricane. And I'm saying a silent hurricane. We call it the silent hurricane. Okay, let me start this way, folks. And this is going to all of us. Please. The former president, soon to be former president, His Excellency Nanado, the soon to be former vice Alaji Dr. Bawumia, the soon to be the former government in power, NPP. Let us all know, neither of you is greater than Ghana. End of discussion. The moment you start thinking, say, Charlie, who to me in Ghana, no, you are heading in the wrong direction. Likewise, I'm sending the same advice to NDC, which is the government in waiting now. The president-elect is President Mahama. Future, very soon, President-elect Mahama. Please, with your kind attention or respect, President Mahama, you and your vice now coming in. Please, none of you is above Ghana. I hope you see where I'm going now. None of you is above Ghana. None of us is above Ghana. There was Ghana before Nanado. There was Ghana before Bawumia. There was Ghana before Mahama. There was Ghana before Nano Pukwajimai. There was Ghana before me. There was Ghana before all of us. And folks, trust me, long after we are gone, Ghana will still be here. But how is Ghana going to be here? It's going to be here like a tattered, broke-ass country, or it's going to be here as a Ghana which has risen again, which is a force to contend with. That's what we want. So let me tell you something. When we say Ghana will rise again, we really mean that we have seen the awakening, and we must rise again. Fellow folks, fellow people, this is our chance to rise again. Now, why am I sitting with all of this thing? I mean, let me do some outline that is unfolding that I am not exactly happy about. It's an unfolding outline. Let me go back to the past a bit. And please trust me, I'm not going to the past to celebrate the past or to stick with the past. May your trajectory be, and I want you to follow me. The trajectory starts a little bit in our past. Okay? Once upon a time, in the very, very recent past, the now soon to be former president made an announcement with vim and vigor that he would never hand over. Please, may bow you not to remind us of anything. I'm building a case. Look at what he said. So I just want you to remember, he did say that. Okay, and I think unfortunately, because he's a president and he's on top, because he made those statements, it strengthens the hand of others. And the NPP to also get up and make the same thing with the same vigor. After all, your leader, so they also added their voice to it. Listen to some of them.
So far as I live, me da been break it biao. To me no, me say, me mfama wo monne, me mfama wo mochina. We have a president who now says, I would hand over to the next MPP presidential candidate as president of the Republic of Ghana. MPP party about see about the platform so me the power I'm a NDC. We know how to win the elections. We have 1 million ways to win 2024 elections. We have 1 million ways to win 2024 elections.
And I particularly like the last one. We have 1 million ways of winning. Anyway, folks, I'm just going to the past for you to think about something. These were some of the very infuriating and scary statements. And of course, when that was going on this very same show, Talk Shop, I actually challenged the Peace Council. And I said, Peace Council, why are you quiet? Why do you sit down to allow such things to go on? To the extent that the chairman of the Peace Council himself called me, says KSM, he explained a whole lot of things. And later on, he was on my show as a guest to explain things further to all of you Ghanaians. But what I understood was that when the president and all those other people were making these statements, it's not that the Peace Council was asleep. It's a scarcity. When such statements come from the president, the Peace Council cannot issue a statement say we are against what you are saying. I say it doesn't look right in Ghana. It doesn't look like in politics. And then just imagine say Nadano has said something, and then you go and read the news where say the Peace Council has come. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look even good for the unity of this nation. So he said what they have been doing is that, listen, you and I, we are not asleep. We just speak to them personally. Will they know that this does not advance peace? He said, trust me. You name them, all the people, trust me. We call them to order very quietly. I'm sorry I have to say this publicly, but he says, you will all of a sudden just notice that such pronouncements will die down quietly. And I mean, boy, you will start noticing that such pronouncements are dying down quietly. He says, KSM, it's not by accident. We are at work.
So you see, a lot of things happen in the country. High tension, suddenly it drops, and then everybody becomes quiet. Nobody is asking questions, how did it happen? But once you see that, you must be mindful of the fact that Peace Council has done a lot of work.
So folks, even though the president has made all these statements that I showed you, didn't you see all of them dying quietly? I don't remember seeing the president on more platforms talking about vehemently, hand over. He stopped saying it. Something was working. To the point that the elections were done, Everything was going on nicely. The reports were coming because nowadays, thanks to technology, WhatsApp, thanks to that online, everything was in public domain being unveiled. And at some point, it was very, very, very clear that the NDC had taken the lead. Very, very clear. People were still holding on. Do you remember? We are in a comfortable lead. Back in those days when that happened and it wasn't so. So people cautiously were watching. And what impressed me most and what alarmed most of Ghanaians is that even before the Electoral Commissioner came out to comment on the results, Vice President Bawumia had come out. He says we have our own way of collating the MPP NDC. Now we all are equipped to follow this election. And so far from the coalitions, from what our own ones are saying, from what NDC is saying, there is no way that I'm going to beat Mahama. So he came out and he did a very, very, very short but very profound concession. Listen to this.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, following yesterday's presidential and parliamentary elections, Ghanaians at home and abroad have been sitting on tenterhooks awaiting the outcome of the election. Let me say that the data from our own internal collation of the election results indicate that former President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has won the presidential election decisively. The NDC has also won the parliamentary election, even though we await final collation for a number of seats. However, I believe ultimately that these will not change the overall outcome. See John Dramani Mahama to congratulate him as President-elect of the Republic of Ghana. We have conceded defeat like any consummate Democrat would do. I am making this concession speech before the official announcement by the Electoral Commission to avoid further tension and preserve the peace of our country.
Fantastic. He made this concession, and trust me, folks, and I always say, I get hard on Bawumia, I'm always hard on him because of other things, but I'm also intelligent and objective to know that when somebody makes the right move, you commend them. So I commended Bawumia severally. It's right on this YouTube channel. You can find it, where I commended him, because those were very scary times. Considering what the president has said, what other members have said, and all the kinds of things, there were very scary times for Ghana. I kid you not. So when Bawumia came to concede, people were like, phew, phew. What an air of relief. That concession, what an air of relief. Even before the ANC came to speak. You know, he did that. And folks, it is alleged. Let me say alleged though, because I don't know for a fact. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but it is alleged. And from the sources that I heard from, they were telling me that even the concession was on the blind side of Jubilee House. Dear me, I don't know. But whether it was on the blind side of them or the foresight of them, Bawumia, you did well with that concession, and it saved Ghana a lot of tension and needless speculation and rumor on everything, right? So Bawumia, I'll commend you one more time for that concession speech. It helped. So let's say a few days later, then Mensah actually came to actually bring the coalition results in Nema and say everything, and ended up proclaiming Mahama as the president-elect of Ghana. And I liked how she ended everything. What can I say? Mensah, if you are listening, do you remember what you said? I say, it is finished.
I have the singular honor as the returning officer of the 2024 presidential election to declare His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as the winner of the 2024 presidential election and the President-elect of the Republic of Ghana with a total percentage of 56.55%. Congratulations, sir. It is finished. Thank you very much.
It is finished. So, that once again Ghana has proved, Sir Charlie, we know the democratic process, we have believed in it, it was beautiful. And even after that, Mahama met outgoing Nanado at the Jubilee House, pleasantries and everything, and all Ghanaians said, we have done it again. We have done it again, man. And I say, show some love for Ghanaians, man. We did it. We did it, and I was so happy. And see, we are all happy. Say, we have done this again. Let's move on. And I remember when Mensah was declaring, say, they have come to declare because there were still some constituencies left, which, according to the polling stations that we heard of there, NPP had won, but the final coalition were waiting for, And Mensah says that even if we add all of the remaining total to Bawumia, he won't win. So President-elect is Mahama. So that's where we all were at. We were all very, very excited. And then the rumors were starting, that even when we count all the remaining ballots from the polling stations, that surprisingly, NTC has won 2/3 majority already. That was the prevailing belief and everything. And so Ghana thought, okay, now we're moving on. But all of a sudden, things are stalling. Mensah had to come back after declaring, say, it is finished. She had to come back and give us another very interesting story. Listen to just a bit of this.
It is important to note that the declarations made by our staff were made under threat, and the Commission considers this as illegal. Those declarations, as well as others that have gone on in other constituencies, will not be upheld by the Commission.
Yeah, so basically this was about the MPs. So as I said earlier before, it was even understood that the 2/3 majority had been won again. Then she came and she said it was finished, but that was, I guess, the presidential. So she comes back again to say the presidential, the parliamentary ones, there's still this, there's still that, there's still this. So that is where we are hanging now. That is where we are hanging now. And I tell people all the time, President Nanado, you are in power. You know what perceptions mean. You know the power of perceptions. Mahama, you've been president before. You also know the power of perceptions. So the perception now, folks, is this, that the NDC won 2/3 of the parliamentary seats. So the perception now is that is what it seems that the EC wants to thwart. And that is what the government doesn't want to see, the NDC coming with the parliamentary majority. Maybe I say this is the allegation, this is the perception. Now, how do we deal with it? I'm telling you, folks, people who voted know they voted. People who voted waited for the count. And people who voted and waited for the count had the results. So please, under no circumstance should any hanky-panky go on and alter the results of the will of the people. That is very, very dangerous. Folks, that is very, very dangerous. Let me tell you something. In this universe, they have something called the universal law. The universal law. And trust me, one thing that we cannot violate ever is the universal law of justice. Sometimes we as human beings think that we have gotten to the stage where we can do everything. We have the power to do everything. The AC may think they have the power, we may think they have the power. But I'm telling you, folks, the laws of the universe are very, 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 very strict and kind at the same time. But one thing it will not let you do is to violate the universal laws of justice. Anyone who ever thought they were violating the universal laws of justice paid for it. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do. When you violate the universal laws of justice, you pay for it. And what are the universal laws of justice? I mean, I don't want to get into that. But there has been times, and I'm sure some of you have heard some silly rumors going on some time ago, say, make KSM an atheist. That was simply because I said this, that my view of what God is not the same as the view of God that you guys have in your books, your Quran, your Bible, your whatever books that you have. No, the kind of God that you see is not mine. I see God as integrated into this universe, and this universal energy, universal force that you call God is part of the universe. And I'm telling you, there are natural laws of the universe, and one of the strongest laws of the universe is justice. So please, whatever you do, then maybe do not attempt to violate the universal law of justice. Because if you do, the universe has a very, very, very interesting way of paying back and claiming things. Folks, maybe that kind of biblical Bible person, no. But I believe in certain words, whether it's from the Bible, the Quran, from philosophers. I believe in certain words that are very, very, very powerful. And permit me to share just that bit with you today before I end my show. It's just a universal law. But I'm giving you a quotation that you read. Oh, okay, you read a few quotations. It is. Okay. I'll give you a quotation which explains this universal law. And trust me, if you can go to any book of religion, Hindu, Baha'i, you will see this law in there. It's a universal law. Check this out, folks. It says God chooses the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. It's one of my favorite scriptures, eh? God chooses the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. Foolish does not mean silly or idiot or as no. It's a symbolic representation of the unconventional things. Things you don't expect or even respect. Things that you think that we're there, let us throw it away. That is the symbolic representation that God chooses the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. Who are the wise? The leaders, the powerful, the you know, I'm the EC chairman, you say, me say, those are the wise. And the universal law is that the foolish things of this world are chosen to confound the wise, which simply means that those who think that they have the power so they can do whatever they want are so unwise. And the things that will teach them a lesson are small things. Common sense things. Common sense things. Do you know those who use their thumb to thumb out the powerful government? Powerful president, powerful vice, powerful party. Small people. Some of them have not even stepped a day in classroom. Them thumb printed out the government. This is one example of using the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. And it says God will use the weak things of this world to confound the mighty. This is what I say, sir. Sometimes you guys, so you just think, you know. So let me tell you, some of the foolish things that are confounding the wise now is this vote from ordinary Ghanaians. So let's print out this. Let's make a way of change. And we have had that change. You know? And trust me, folks, media, let me say this, I am not a politician. And I say it with pride that I am not a politician. I don't want to be a politician. Do you know why? Politicians are one-track mind. They think of the conventional way of doing things. They think of business as usual. They don't think of business unusual. The only dream is to be business as usual. And I'm telling you, that will lead us to an unexpected ending. We have been doing business as usual. That's where we are today. So I'm telling the Electoral Commission, I'm telling all of you people that do not go into business as usual to use the conventional things. Because the things that the universe will use to prove to you that you are wrong is really, really, really deeply on the way. For example, after the election, what happened? We are the ones with the power. So the first time we enter parliament, it's all about the power we have and the things that must be done, and it's very, very emphatic. That is the conventional wisdom. Even if you're voted as out, we have a few more days, make sure that this, and it's all still partisan. That is the conventional way. But the little things of this world that the universe uses to confound the wise is a different approach. Charlie, bear with me. If after the election and everything, the parliament was closed down because of so many needless maybe. Needless, this going to seek Supreme Court interpretation, they are all law. They are the business as usual. If they have started thinking, Charlie, let's quit this business as usual. Let's think common sense. What do we need to do now? Many of the things would not have happened. So I would have thought that even Parliament started in Ukraine. Let's see some semblance of unity, Charlie. Yeah, I would have expected that now let's put Ghana back in the focus because we have come from an election and this side has won. So even if you have congratulated them, it shouldn't end with I congratulate you. Let it end in what are we doing now to build this nation? That is the true mark of somebody who wants to build this nation. But this thing of still bickering on party lines and your party you say you
are going to reduce taxes. You are going to repeal the betting tax, the e-levy. You are going to repeal all these taxes. You are going to reduce the taxes at the port. We wonder where you get the money to implement the Onkukon Ketenkete.
And I agree. Ghanaians voted for resetting. So, Mr. Speaker, the only thing we have to do is to take the vote on account and close shop. We should not continue with any business here because, like Honorable Okujeto said, and rightly so, Ghanaians have voted for the resetting agenda of Nkukon Ketenkete. So let's leave it to them and let them inherit all the goodness of what we're trying to do and let them bring in all the badness that they are bringing so that Ghanaians will know the difference. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
They are all things of the wise people. Media wise. I would have thought the little things that we can do to get things going are little things. And yet be a major. But people are too wise now. People have reached certain levels. They don't listen to anything. And Jane Mensah, I'm hoping you have not got there or you won't get there. What is important now is not grandstanding. What is important now is not to grandstand. What is important now is tell Ghana first. How can we get this country back together? And how do we move this country forward and up? And not grandstanding. Now this stage, we are now going to go and collate us a re-vote to do all this basa. If it is that worrying, take it to court. Isn't that the slogan now? Take it to the court. This is nothing new that we haven't experienced in our politics. It happened in 2020. when results were declared and there was some kind of questioning and the kind of debates we're having now as to whether it's legitimate, the thing you said, go to court. You said once it has been declared, once the EC has come out and said it's yeah, and then move on to court. So the question that I ask, why is it that now, dear, we have to do recounting and recollating? Why don't we send it to court? Why are we shifting the goalpost? We are shifting the goalpost because that's what power tells us. That's what business as usual tells us. This is the best way we can do to maintain what we want. But the foolish thing to underground is telling you, Charlie Mensah, these things won't work. These things will work. Just let us accept that this is the decision that people have made. Now you go forward. Don't try and thwart the direction of the will of the people. All I'm saying is that it has happened before. It has happened before, and we were against like recount. Yes, Yanko Court. Yanko Court. Folks, you know, I said a few minutes ago that I'm giving a big up to Bawumia because his timely concession helped this country avoid chaos. We were heading for chaos, number one, because we were violating the laws of the universe. We were trampling on the laws of justice from the universe. So that's why I say I salute Bawumia for coming out like that. So great. It helped avert a certain chaotic thing. And now we are all breathing a sigh of relief. The president and the incoming have all met. So say, if you say everything is cool, now you're going to come back and tell us, hey, wait a minute. There's some recounting and recoalition. Folks, let's forget about everything. Let's use common sense. The foolishness. Let's listen to the foolishness of the people. Imagine that people have voted in their various polling stations, Oman declare, yes, NDC, Oman Nyaji, Oman Baji, so the NDC has been declared. Let's imagine that then now you come back after recoalition and says, oh, we have done it again, recounted. Actually, it was the MPP that won.
Yeah, Captain, the airport, it's already. Don't prime person of best olive issue. It's a Gusu Ewa. So, just here, your soldier, baby, your blocky quano. Your blocky quano. It's already. Yeah, you to let's say, Entias, Entias, you. Entiasi, we lose on person of Entiasi. Entiasi da. Don't prem person of Entiasi form. We lose you. Yes, you know, I got you as come on. Yes, you know, I show me na. Yes, if you need Johnny. Every year on office. Up to now, you baby on more. It will share. I say, and I will say, you to know. You are watching who are Ankasa. It will patch on. Mon père bi ka kire won anye sa ne be si won sa wan de dinu enye kitwa don pray today yicho apo ye ni ba apo kumu apo ye ni ba kumu chale yeah emedi agro wa ya ni abre emedi agro wa be di kwasi agro de be se uka wa ya gusu wa Yendi agro wow. We are driven no aso koye dia. Anya ye na ye o, ye dey betro. Sawati.
Mensah, what kind of chaos do you want to bring into this country? Why? Again, Bio. Honestly, what kind of chaos do you want to bring into this country? Are you not happy that we went through the election and everything has been so smooth and beautiful? The vice conceded at the time. Well, he was a vice, but he was the presidential candidate, conceded at a very, very timely point and helped calm things down and create a beautiful scenario that everybody is now bluffing, said Charlie Ampa. Ghana, we can celebrate the fact that yet democracy has. And after all of that, the foolish things of the world will tell the easy say, Pacho de moduno, kronon koso. This great foundation that you have set, build on it, na kronon koso. Do you have to go and bring some strange things which happened some time ago and you say, let's go to court because the things that you are recommending now, then you say they are not done. Please, we are nearing Christmas and all I want to do is to give a message of peace. All I want to do is to tell Ghanaians that we have so much to celebrate. And one of it is the fact that we have an amazing tolerance and we have gone through this election very, very, very successfully. And the last thing with the capital L, capital A, capital S, capital T, the last thing we want to know is that somebody will come and say, and try and reverse something and create chaos that we don't need. Who wants it? Who wants it? So please, take my advice. Whatever happens, all of us are in this country. And whatever happens, we'll all bear the consequences. But let's not rush where fools fear to tread. Let's not rush where fools fear to tread. So this is my final thing, and I'm wrapping up for this episode. And I like this quotation a lot, that God uses the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. In the marketing that we think are foolish, these are crazy. We are the learned ones. I am the one with the law background. I am the EC. I am the president. I am the vice. I am the one. God is going to confuse all of you wise people with the foolish things of this earth. The foolish things are the things you don't think about. If you say here, you want to use power to exert it. Finally, let me say to all of you, as for MPP, Nana Adro, and your vice, I hope you have learned this lesson. And after Mahama, what Dibida, and you're coming again, I hope you also learned this lesson. Let me tell you, folks, the best thing to do as a leader is to rule with authority and not power. There's a difference. Rule with authority and not power. Authority just means that you understand the rules of the game. Just by your presence cry, you exude certain respect. You don't force it. Authority is there naturally. You boo, they respect the authority you have. The other position, the opposite of that is power. Rule with power. I'll use the army. And my friend, be a commander chief, let the army do this. Blah, 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 blah. Like we did sometime to 2020, where's we're going? You're using power. No, folks. Use authority. Authority says, let's respect the people, let's respect the laws, let's respect peace and stability. But Mahama, you are not in yet, but you also ruled before. And I know you're tolerant, but keep that in mind. Don't get into office and let the intrigues of power mislead you to thinking that I have the power now. I am the commander-in-chief. I'll use the army and the police the way I want. No. The patriotic, my advice, rule with authority. Let the respect be earned and not imposed. Folks, my bro, my next episode is going to be around Christmas, and I hope that we will have the peace of mind and everything will be right so that the Christmas message is completely different. You know, just before I end, most of you know I am a prostate cancer survivor. Yes, I survived prostate cancer. I've had the surgery, I've had radiation, and prostate cancer is the #1 killer of all men when it comes to cancers. So for Christmas, I'll just be giving you how best as a man, all of you men know, and yet different, be how best you can learn to understand and avoid prostate cancer. But for now, that is just the next show, because I'm hoping that we'll get beyond the politics and stop the foolishness Let all politicians understand this, my last word, that the good Lord or the laws of nature uses the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. See you again.